we use will be called Fleet Master, and they provide quite a few opportunities for fleet fuel cards to, you could go, if you're a consumer in a passenger car, you could put your ATM debit card in there and it takes, I think, 12 or 14 different payment applications. It's all,
It's not an attendant.
that's correct. Well, we will be remotely monitoring and have a person there, but there will be nobody taking money. It'll all be, it'll be done through an accounting process that's through the Fleet Master.
Say they got a credit card, how, can you use a credit card there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How about cash?
Cash is not accepted, and that is done intentionally. Actually, most of these people that we're probably going to be seeing coming through there would be your municipalities, your corporate type entities, and they want to be able to track what they're spending and not have to worry with cash.
I noticed on the plat here, y'all got a plat drawn up for 3.87 acres, but you're only asking for 3.27 in this ordinance. Is any of this station going to be put on that other half acre that's in Georgia?
No, sir.
All of it's going to be done, put in Tennessee, sold in Tennessee?
Everything will be solely in Tennessee, in Eastridge.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Yeah, I was just wondering, you said it requires some kind of engine conversion?
Yes. Well, there's OEM models that actually are made as compressed natural gas vehicles, and then you can actually take Ford F-150, and they have conversion kits, and you do the install, and actually the nozzle is just like taking a cap, turning the cap, and literally hitting a button, and it will it measures the PSI so it can fill the tank, and then automatically has a shut off.
So it's not like a total engine read?
Oh, no.
Just for the record, get your name and address to go with.
Oh,
Ask
okay.
your question. Sorry.
Yeah, and Ena,
Well, you're Chattanooga.
Yeah, Chattanooga.
Right. Yeah, okay, media member.
sorry.
I'm sorry, she didn't get your name.
Yeah, and Ena, G-I-D-N-A-B.
Motion approved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Comments? Well, actually, this is actually the hearing.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is actually the hearing, so let's back up a little bit. Is there any other comments or questions? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate it very much. All right. At this time, we will close this public hearing, and we will now have the caption for ordinance 991 as item D.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, to amend the zoning regulations and the zoning map of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, to rezone the property located at 322 Scruggs Road from M3 Warehouse and Wholesale District to C2 General Commercial District here on Fifth Street.
Motion approved.
Second.
Motion to approve and a second. Any other comments or questions?
What would the warehouse be used for?
This is, this is to change the zoning. It's currently zoned for warehouse and wholesale district. It's being rezoned to general commercial.
Or the warehouse part, I mean,
Okay. Roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Griffin.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Manning.
Yes.
Councilmember Sewell.
Yes.
Mayor Lambert.
Yes. All right, item C, ordinance number 992.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, to amend ordinance number 971 entitled, an ordinance to provide revenue to the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, fiscal year July 1st, 2014, to June 30th, 2015, appropriating the same for the payment of expenses and municipal government, designating fund balance and changing expenditures for the general fund capital improvement.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. We have amended the budget to include the payment to the state of Tennessee for land can capitalize projects from the general fund to the capital projects fund. Council has any questions at this time?
One question I have on this, and I was thinking on the last meeting, we had voted, go ahead and pay this. Am I not wrong on that?
We did, this is, I guess, the way to get that done. Essentially, this is,
We don't vote like, we voted, all of our board to it.
right, we're amending the budget to allow for that to happen.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Take your pick on the second. All right, any other comments or questions? Roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Griffin.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Manning.
Yeah.
Councilmember Stoll.
Yes.
Mayor Lambert.
Yes. All right, item D, ordinance 993.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, adopting the fiscal year 2014-2015 annual budget as a continuation budget for fiscal year 2015-2016 until such time as the finalized annual budget for fiscal year 2015-2016 is adopted.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve. Again, this is really only if necessary. This is first reading. We'll have opportunity, if, obviously by June 30th, we'll know if we absolutely have to have this done. And we could potentially have it up for second reading at that time. So we do have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? Roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Griffin.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Manning.
Yes.
Councilmember Stoll.
Yes.
Mayor Lambert.
Yes. Item E, resolution number 2485.
A resolution of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, approving the appointment of the fire chief to the additional position of Assistant City Manager, with the understanding that the Assistant City Manager shall assume the duties of the City Manager in the event of the absence or disability of the City Manager.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve. We do one of those motions. Can we make that a second? I think Mr. Gravitt and Mr. Sewell made the motion at the same time, wasn't he? Okay. Would you make that a second?
Yeah, I'll make a second.
Okay. We have a motion from Mr. Gravitt, a second from Mr. Manning.
It's my understanding that pursuant to the city charter, the current city manager, Mr. Hyatt, intends to so designate the fire chief. And this is an adoption by the council of the city manager's designation. Is that correct? Is that? Yes. Sir. In other words, as we discussed, I think last time, that you're calling in the city charter, and the city council would confirm your determination.
In light of the recent news, is that still something that I would have to do, or can the council do that?
You are still city manager?
Okay, so we have confirmation from the city manager. We have a motion and a second from council. Any questions?
Again, effectively, the council is blessing what the city manager has designated. So, the city charter.
Roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Griffin.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Manning.
Yes.
Councilmember Stoll.
Yes.
Mayor Lambert.
Yes. Item F, resolution 2486.
A resolution of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, approving a bid for mowing services for the I-75 exit 1 interchange.
All right. What, let's see here. The staff have a recommendation that they would like tell us about that one?
Yeah.
Just,
GIG lawn care came in under $29.50 per cycle, I suppose it's $30.50, so $100 less. Staff would recommend GIG lawn care.
You know, I guess I'm the one that started this. So, we've had a couple of occurrences since we started this, this process. The state has vastly reduced how much they are paying us or reimbursing us for keeping the exit one cut. So, in my opinion, we have two options. The bids that came in are substantially higher than what has been the thrown around number for years on the cost to the city. So that being said, at this point, I'm not sure that us contracting this service out would be the best option. I'm just talking right now. It's $3,000 per cycle, and it's my understanding that would be 2 cuts or 1 cut every 2 weeks. So you're talking the $3,000. That's $6,000 a month, 12 months a year. I don't see it working.
I'll make a motion that we don't accept any bids this time. I'll second it.
Are we going to, is the city going to continue it, or are we going to let TDOT take it?
We'll continue.
Okay.
I thought we discussed last time on it that we would continue it, but that might throw it out, thing, if we continue it through the 4 cycles, then into it as we see fit on special occasions.
Well, I guess that would be up to whoever the city manager is at the
Right.
time, and Melvin and the street department, I guess. So, yeah.
so at this time, we have a motion and a second on the floor to essentially not approve any of the bids, would allow the mowing to revert back to the city, doing it for ourselves. Do you have any comments or questions?
If we only kept the same stake and kept the same money, I might consider doing that, but since they kind of throw the,
Yeah.
pull the rug out from under us.
Okay. All right, roll call, please. And this would be, and this is gonna be one of those you gotta think about when you voted. The motion is to not approve, to deny, yes. So we're denying, so even though we're saying no to the bids, if you wanna say no to the bids, you have to vote yes. Okay, it's not a, like I said, a little counterintuitive.
No, it's yes.
That's right. So, just wanted to point that out. Who offered the second? Barry? Is that- No. You did?
I thought it come that way.
But I'll say,
Okay, well, Mr. Cagle will second it if there are any questions about that.
If you got a problem about that, I'll work it with you. Second.
Okay.
30 days.
The motion is to not approve or deny the bids that were offered. Roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Griffin.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
I'm going to deny the bid that's offered.
Gotcha. That is a yes.
Councilmember Manning.
Yes.
Councilmember Stoll.
Yes.
Mayor Lambert.
Yes. All right, item G, resolution number 2487.
A resolution of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, put on photography bid 2015-2016 sports season.
staff have any information they'd like to provide? Stuff you have? Any insight you can share with us?
We had two, it was very close. The company we've used in the past, which is the company we've used ever since I've been here. And then the company School Days, which is located on Mingo Road in East Ridge, Tennessee. Shonda has met with the gentleman from School Days. She feels like if they do what they say that they're going to do, that they'll be fine with that. And due to the fact that it is more percentage for the city, there is quite a considerable difference in the packages. The ones we have sell for $70, the other ones will sell for less than that, but you can ask for whatever you want to as far as that goes. So based on that, then we lose the ones that we had before, but we have problems out of them. But also based on the fact that they're from East Ridge, Tennessee, we felt like it'd be best to recommend
Who you recommending?
School Days.
Are they in East Ridge?
Yes, sir. I think it is.
They have a storefront, or have one, at least, at an Oscar shopping
Yes.
center.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the bid from School Days.
And that's your one-year deal.
So, one-year deal.
Yes.
Any comments or questions?
That is the same one house. That is the same one guy.
No, sir.
I withdraw my motion. I thought you said the same one.
No, sir. It's not saying we got this one time.
We have a motion withdrawn, we have a, can we withdraw the second as well? Start over.
I make the motion.
His was the second, okay, so he has withdrawn the second. Okay.
My motion stands.
Mr. Cagle will second. Okay, any other comments or questions?
Which one, I want to ask one question.
Sure.
Which one would be the best for the job?
They're both very good, Councilman.
I'm not saying that neither one is bad, but which one would be the?
No, they're both very good. You know, it's,
If you had to pick, and let me put it this way, if you had to pick,
well, we're recommending School Days, but, you know, they can tell you how this business goes. The guy that has done it for the other, is a personal friend, his whole family is of mine, that's been doing it in years past, was doing it before I ever got here. So all I'm saying is that based on, we have to run this as a business, and based on that, and based on the fact that Shauna, who deals with the photography more than anybody else, has met with Jerry with School Days, then we decided to recommend School Days.
no problem.
Plus their packages.
It's a larger percentage too.
But their packages are cheaper than the rest.
Yes.
That's the only complaint that I got from some people that package a little high.
Or that they would rather be, well, you can get these as high as you want to. Yeah, you can add to it as far as, and I'll be honest with you, I thought all of our packages were in the $35 to $40 range. Our new package would be $35.
Call the question.
Yes, sir.
Call the question.
Oh, call the question. Sorry, I thought you said you had a question.
No, call the question.
Okay, we ready? Roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Griffin.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Manning.
Yes.
Councilmember Sewell.
Yes.
Mayor Lambert.
Yes. Item H, resolution number 2488.
A resolution of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, approving bids for the operation of food and refreshment concession for Camp Jordan Park, Arena, and the East Ridge Community Center.
What's your recommendation?
Our recommendation on that is Fun Time Foods based on 10% more percentage per year. and the fact is, as of today, in the 3 years that Funtime Foods has been with us, they have brought in $74,316.31.
I make a motion.
I think we need to discuss something here.
I'll take my time.
Well, and I want to make, Ms. Lowry brought this up earlier in the meeting. Ms. Middleton handles the things that when they come in, we're always sitting in the room. One bid come in sealed. Mr. Hale walked straight in the door and handed the bid to Ms. Middleton, who commented at that time, well, since you gave it to us, then we can go with this. Am I correct with that? Janet, am I correct with that?
Yes.
Okay. So I just want to let you know exactly the situation there so that you can decide as it was.
Can you run that by me one more time?
Okay. Ms. Lowry brought up and asked our attorney if you had to have the bids sealed. And we had the meeting that morning to open up the bids. The other one came in sealed. Mr. Hale with Funtime Foods walked in, Dwayne Hale, and handed it straight to Janet, who commented at that time that since nobody else had a chance to open it, just hand it straight to him, that we could go with that. So I'm just making sure that we make sure we cross every T and dot every I.
But he had not had an opportunity to see the other bid or anything like that.
No, she walked straight in, walked straight in and handed it to him.
Okay.
So what you're saying is, the way it was done, he was not given any kind of competitive advantage.
No,
Right.
I would think that would be, yes.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve and a second. Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Bratton?
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle?
Yes.
Councilmember Manning?
Yes.
Councilmember Stoll?
Yes.
Mayor Lambert?
Yes.
And that is for 2 years. This one is for 2 years, yes.
All right, item 5, resolution number 2489. And this is something to which I referred earlier. A resolution, I'm sorry, but Albert caption.
A resolution excluding certain properties from the Florida Region Retail Tourism Development District in accordance with published chapter number 405 of the 2015 Acts of the Tennessee General Assembly.
Okay. Council, yeah, should have gotten a copy of the tabulation relevant to this.
There's a stapled 2-page resolution that Mr. Vanderhoff sent me at 5:30 today after he spoke with the Deputy Commissioner of Revenue. And having been on vacation, the Commissioner of Revenue been on vacation over the last couple of weeks. Thanks, sir. Good job. Thank goodness. So the Deputy Commissioner and the Commissioner both having been out of town over the last couple of weeks, the Deputy Commissioner just got back. We scrambled the last half of the day to try to answer a couple of lingering questions regarding how they want to see this done. They've seen our list, and I've crunched the numbers as of today based on the businesses in Exhibit A. And based on these businesses today, under one reading of how it would work, I guess we'd like to add some clarity to that. So if we could move this to the special meeting, I think it would be in the best interest of East Ridge citizens, the city of East Ridge. If we had a day or two to flush that out with the attorneys over at Department of Revenue and Mark Mamentov, because again, we've got the data, we've crunched all the numbers, but we need to be absolutely sure of the mechanics on how it's gonna work before we do something. We have one opportunity to get right and live with it for 30 years.
That's right.
True. I agree. Make a motion to table resolution number 2489.
I like that question.
Hold on, just one minute, Jake. I'm sorry, what was your motion?
To table resolution 2489
Can you table that to the
to,
June 9th?
yes, to the June 29th meeting.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. Yeah, it's just for discussion. Okay, now,
Back on May 28th, Board of Regents thing was brought up then, and Mr. Gravitt asked the city attorney to check in on the sales tax coming out of the Camping World down there. If we were, as Mr. Gravitt discussed Camping World, he believes their sales tax should come to East Ridge and not Georgia, since they do not have access to their business from Georgia. They also advertise they are located in East Ridge. He said, Mr. Gravitt will check into this.
I asked Mr. Jablonski to check in on that, Department of Revenue.
The Department of Revenue has one account, so that their entire operation seems to be following from, in other words, everything falls under that one name, Camping World RV Sales. It seems to be everything that's generated in the state of Tennessee and the business done there, now and in the future, in the state of Tennessee will be done under that name. We check, there are no other nearby or like addresses, or similar or like names. Some companies, you know, they'll file a return under one type of operation versus another. The reason that I would rank that at the top of the list is that it is so large that if we lost that in any year in the future, and we had not removed it from the base year, it would take 3 Bass Pro Shops to climb out of that hole. And it would undo the Board of Regents program before we even, if it happened, it might never happen.
So that they could build a massive flood down there and they decide, we're not gonna stay over here anymore. We're moving.
It could be anything, yeah, or Georgia could offer them a tax incentive and say, hey, if you, we'll build your road, and I'm not saying that's gonna happen, because I don't know that, but that's a great example. It could be anything, it's just they're too big to fail, and when you look at their year in, year out, I've looked at it over 4 years. It's not really changing our numbers. If we take it out, when you look at the list I've proposed, we could see some real money pay off our remaining obligation to the developer and have some money in the bank in fiscal year 15. Again, I'd like to work out the mechanics before I put a dollar value to it, but I've got a good estimate.
The way it is now, we are collecting sales tax.
We'll continue to collect the local sales tax, no matter what we do with the Board of Regents.
I think what Councilman Cagle is referring to is the RV sales part that is actually located in Georgia. I think that's what he's referring to, correct? And Georgia collects that sales tax.
But that's by them not having an entrance to them, and they're advertising Chattanooga.
Right.
I thought the question was, are we
Yes.
collecting all their sales tax, or is Georgia collecting our sales tax?
The way I understand it, you want to answer it or you want me to go first? The way I understand it, we collect it from the service department. The state of Georgia collects it from the actual RV sales part that is located in Georgia. What I would like to know is why? Why cannot, and I'd like the Department of Revenue to try to get involved with this as well. If the city attorney would get with them, is there a mechanism in place to where the city of East Ridge and the state of Tennessee could collect and go after and collect the RV sales portion of that business because they advertise as in East Ridge. Their access is from East Ridge. You cannot access it from Georgia. So that's my question.
And I'm happy, Mr. Gorski and I are happy to contact them and ask them. And I know in the past, for example, there have been some issues about Walmart. For example, a Walmart building that straddled two different state lines. And the determination was at that time where the actual cash register was, where they registered their sales. You didn't buy, for example, in the back when you picked up the goods, you purchased the goods when you came to the cash register. So I had no idea about the configuration of this building, but it's one can enlighten me.
Well, there's two different buildings. you've got the service department in the front in Tennessee in East Ridge, and then you've got the sales building, and that's, across the line.
Well, I can, start saying, I can assure you that's the answer, but we'll get reconfirmation that that's the answer.
I do know years ago, we had a problem out of them because they moved the small stuff up front. East Ridge got the taxes off fit, then they moved the big equipment, motor homes, back in the Georgia part, we wouldn't have to pay us taxes. That went on for years and years and years, because I know Fred Pruitt went down there a bunch of times. And they told me, right after, said, hey, we got our big equipment in the back, we don't pay taxes, no.
But I can assure you it's not simply a function of where they advertise. If they advertise in Chattanooga, that makes them subject to Tennessee sales tax. But again, we'll reconfirm that, Mr. Plansky and I, when that's proper.
And ultimately, just one more quick comment. Ultimately, in terms of the border region, I'm not sure it matters that much whether they're bringing in, if one building brings in Tennessee, the other building brings in Georgia. It's, whatever it is that the city of East Ridge gets from them in terms of local sales tax, we will continue to get. It's just the border region, if for some reason, whatever is currently going to the city, if it stops, if it dries up, if there is a flood, for instance, and it gets wiped out, we'll have a very hard time replacing that amount of revenue that's going to the state. And obviously, this is based on sales taxes going to the state, what that number is. We'd have a very hard time overcoming that.
But they do have flood down all the time, so
The,
I give that.
And obviously there, any way that we can get additional sales tax out of that property is great. I'm not against that. I'm just saying.
Well, my reason for checking it is really doesn't have anything to do with the border region necessarily. It's got to do with that store is the number 3 in the nation.
Right. It's amazing the business.
And they do a tremendous amount. So, anyway, okay.
All right, so we have a motion and a second on the floor currently to table resolution 2489 to the call meeting.
I make a motion to table.
We've already got the motion and a second. We just need roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Griffin.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Manning.
Yes.
Councilmember Stoll.
Yes.
Mayor Lambert.
Yes. Okay, and next item is item J. And that is discussion or take action on request for proposals for payroll time and attendance solution.
Mayor, members of the council, we received 3 RFPs after we asked the council if we could go back and try to solicit proposals again, and we did not get the type of proposals that we were looking for. All of them chose third alternatives as opposed to our primary. We presented 2 different options for primary, meeting a primary objective, which at the end of the day is to have just a hard time clock that plugs into existing interfaces with our existing accounting and finance and budgeting systems. I'd like to ask the council, you just got those in at the very end of last week. We were working on budget amendments and border region data. The state sent us Friday, but I'd like to go to local government corporations who we have a special contract with and just find out the cost of what the cost would be from them. I just found out they have a special vendor they do business with, given that they belong to a couple of different U.S. communities and a couple of those programs, as well as have state contracts with. I think we could probably purchase something from them and save some money compared to what I received vis-a-vis the proposals that I received.
So are you asking for this to be tabled to the
I
next meeting?
would say.
Therefore, make a motion to table until, what, June 29th or 30th? June 30th.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to table to June 30th. Any other comments? Roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Griffin.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Manning.
Yes.
Councilmember Stoll.
Yes.
Mayor Lambert.
Yes. Item K is a variance for Speedway. K. Yeah, it's actually K on the new agenda. I think the letters got shifted when we added the public hearings. And that's in the two-page new agenda, if you have it. Okay, yes, sir.
Can you take
If you'll,
comments on the Speedway at this point, or you want?
yes, sir, if you'll come forward to the podium.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. My name is Cody Roebuck. I'm here tonight on behalf of Speedway. Also here with me is Kirk Evans and Ms. Addie Trullo, who's sitting right over there on the left. The request is before the council is a variance from Title 8, Chapter 2, Section 8-212 of the East Ridge Code, which as it stands prohibits the sale of beer within 250 feet of any school, residence, church, or other place of public gathering. The Speedway issue is, I'm sure you're probably aware of it, it's right up here on Congress, corner of Ringgold Road and Thomas Avenue. Now, it's not within 250 feet of any church, school, or residence, but it is within 250 feet of a place of public gathering, which is the park that's in between this building, I believe, and the Speedway. I believe it's approximately 200 feet from the Speedway to the park. And so I think I'm going to let Mr. Ellis discuss more detail the physical orientation of the building, and provide some Speedway's reasons why they believe the variance is justified in this case, but I want to introduce myself and him, and also just let the council know what we're requesting, which is the variance from that specific 250-foot ordinance. They have to about in this case approximately 200 feet, but obviously the request to be whatever the city finds it actually is. So this is Mr. Ellis from Speedway.
Good evening. Thank you for having me today. Thanks for your time. Appreciate it. Everybody's probably pretty familiar with the location that we're talking about this evening. It's only about a 1 city block away from where we're having the meeting at tonight. Currently, as stated, it is about 200 feet adjacent to the park that's right over here. As you know, we do have a kind of a natural barrier right now in the back of the store with the hedging and the landscaping that has a natural barrier right now that we have between our store and the park. As you're aware, with where it's located right now, it doesn't really, it's not really set up for walk-up traffic, so there's no really walk-up traffic in behind the store, really on the side or there on the main road. It's really for commuting traffic. So from that standpoint, we feel pretty confident that there's not going to be a lot of walk-up traffic. There's no availability for them to go in behind the store or them to carry out any type of beer packages in behind the store or the park area. There is a barrier there. There's no walkways or anything of that nature. Of course, with the beer sales, that does also increase our overall inside sales as well. Usually that's depending on the store, between 5 and 7% of usually our inside sales come from our beer. Right now, that location does not have that. We also have the ability to do some other things that could increase the barrier in the back of the store if necessary, if you all deem that the landscaping or some of the hedges does not justify that area that you would like to see. We also understand there is a demand for that particular package. There is a demand for beer in East Ridge. Most of you are probably pretty familiar with Speedway. We're the second largest company-owned and operated convenience store in the United States. So we do have a lot of controls, a lot of policy procedures, a lot of point-of-sale procedures and restrictions and training that we do with all of our employees. So one of the things that I say is that if you have the demand for that in the marketplace, you would want that demand to go to a responsible and reputable knows when to do it, all knows when to do responsible.
Can I ask you, do y'all own the hedges that's behind, that belong to the city?
That belong to East Ridge.
Would y'all be, I know there's some gaps that's been kind of cut through, I guess people maybe walking through. Would y'all be willing to put up a fence on your side
We would.
of the hedge?
Just out of curiosity for clarification, do you or the city of East Ridge own the hedges?
City.
City.
They are city.
No, well, I mean, I was wanting to hear from him, that the question was directed towards him, so I was, sorry not to put you on the spot.
No, that's okay.
Okay.
I don't have the site plan or anything. With me right
I
now.
know we maintain it, so before y'all came, so I figured that about belong to Steve.
But that is an option at the rear of the property, you know, that's necessary.
How large is your store, square footage wise?
Inside the store, 3,900 square foot.
Just a question, obviously the wine and groceries law is going to kick in the not too distant future. I assume you intend to sell wine?
Unfortunately, it doesn't look like most of our stores do not have that square footage requirement.
I thought it was
I believe it's a 5,000 square foot, if I'm not mistaken.
I thought it was less than that. You said that the percentage, what was the percentage of your sales?
It depends on the store, but it's usually between 5 and 7% of our inside sales would come to that. So, you know, we would see, depending on the volume and the breakdown of what the customer needs are, between 5 and 7%.
Thank you.
That's what the ruling is on it, brings it from property line, building to building.
In this case, it would be building to property line. Typically, it's building to building. But since there's not a building existing on the property that is a public gathering location, which is a park, it would be the property line.
All right, so how far are we away from the building to the property line?
Well, looking at GIS, and GIS is very hard to determine. I believe the East Ridge Beer Board took measurements. The city of East Ridge Code Enforcement also took measurements. Both measurements were equally to the same distance, which was 200 feet from the playground to the property of the Speedway. That's the closest adjacent area that was come up to. Which would be the property line of the playground.
Property line of the playground. So that goes on the other side of the driveway toward the hedge bushes, toward the building?
That's correct. The parking lot area for the playground is not considered a playground, according to GIS. What we pulled off the GIS, it shows the property line being south of the parking area. That's where the parking area starts. There is a section just to the west of the parking area where the gazebo is. It is considered part of that park, which could be a little closer, depending on angle. Either way, it's still less than 250 feet. That's why the variance is asked for.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve. We've already did a variance on another establishment that was only 90. I think we kind of set the precedence. If they put a fence, in this motion, I think that they put up at least a 5-foot fence behind the hedges of their property that would keep walkout through.
And just for some clarification, it's going to be the motion, I guess, as to the materials used then, since we've got the height, you would like 5 feet. But do you have any further specifications on what that would look like?
I would recommend council go with either a chain link type fence that you can visibly see through, or either a solid wooden type privacy fence. That's going to be completely up to council.
And I think we still, is it 250 feet we need to go by what the ordinance says, that's what 250 feet from it. I think that's what we need to go by what, that's up on the rules also, you know, we'll break the rules, that's right. The illegal working.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the variance for the privacy fence constructed on the property of Speedway. We have a motion, do we have a second? We have a second. Any questions, comments?
Question I have, what are we gonna do about the rules that we just read, 250 feet away from the playground, all the way from the church, either way? We're breaking all the rules.
That's what they're applying for, is variance.
Do what?
They're applying for a variance.
The variance is 250 feet.
Well, the current requirement is 250 feet.
City requires 250.
Yeah, city requirements 250, so I'm gonna get strong city.